name's Lisa. I am the Ledbetter Foundation representative. I'll be facilitating the meeting. My success depends on creating a consensus-driven proposal. Okay, so we're going to be collaborating. It has to meet the foundation's criteria for accountability, efficiency, leverage, and speed. So what we're looking for is creating something that's going to be quick, creating a proposal that I can approve that is going to benefit all of us in our shared goal of helping the homeless, right? So as long as we keep that in mind and knowing that we only have a certain number of dollars to allocate, I'm going to ask that we all work together and we'll all go through and introduce ourselves and state our mission, state what we're hoping to achieve. And we'll all have a chance to speak. We'll all hopefully listen and really think about how each other's interests dovetail with each other. So if you have a question, hold it until the end of that person's introduction. And then if you're introducing yourselves, please remember to ask for any questions. And let's see, we'll be just attempting to, like I said, come to a consensus. I'm going to have, in order to approve whatever proposal we come up with, I'm going to have 4 out of 5 votes. So that really does mean we have to collaborate. And I can still push it through, but they're going to lean towards, they'll definitely approve something that has 4 out of 5 votes. If I can't get 4 out of 5 votes, then I'll have to work something else out. But that's what we're going for. I can for sure push something through that's 4 out of 5. Okay?
Perfect.
All right. Who would like to go next?
If it's okay with you guys, I would like to start.
Please.
I am a representative of the Homeless Union. We're an advocacy group. For the most part, we are made up of homeless people and advocate for homeless people as well. We're promoting the rights of homeless as well as self-sufficiency through our political action. We have been an organization for over 8 years. We've run a hot meal program at Stringley Park. We've gotten food donated from local restaurants and grocery stores, and staff support that came from homeless people or formerly homeless volunteers. And we have a permit from the I've been having a hard time how to pronounce it.
Municipal?
Yes, to serve the food to the park. We are made up of about 50 members. And before I was joining the union, I was a homeless individual myself. But we had a good pride and joy of through our goals of discipline and creating a good, strong and work ethic towards homeless people that sufficiently helps some of our members. So yeah, that's what I'm here to represent today. And hopefully we can discuss how we'll be able to improve our organization for the better of the people.
Any questions for Jesstyn?
No.
Any questions for me? I forgot to ask.
Not at this time.
Awesome. All right, Elaina.
Okay. So, hello, my name is Elaina. I am the chair of the Community Service League. My organization consists of 100 active members who support its efforts to solve community issues through volunteerism and community involvement, such as park cleanups and a child care center. My perception of the community issue is that there has been a steady increase in the number of individuals facing homelessness. The proposed initiative we would like to come to fruition is transforming the current building where we operate our child care center into a 20-bed shelter, fostering a personalized, nurturing environment, promoting the development of self-esteem and self-sufficiency. This task requires an initial fee of $600,000 for renovations and a yearly operating fee of $400,000 for which we can allocate funds through fundraising efforts and other means. In addition, I am willing to discuss what daily operations would look like regarding building self-esteem and self-sufficiency among our clients. Great, thank you for your time in hearing my proposal. Do you have any questions for me?
Not at the moment.
Okay, Thank you.
Who'd like to go next?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Greg. I'm a shelter operator with Third Avenue Service Center. And basically, the center is a non-governmental.
Can I stop you? I'm having trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me now, or is it still low?
It's a little bit better. Yeah, as loud as you can get it probably is what you need to do.
I'm sorry. This probably be the loudest it get. I don't
Okay.
know if I got to come up a little bit closer. I'm doing that on my phone. I'm sorry. But basically, we're a non-governmental organization funded by the how do you pronounce it? The most the most the most multiple government.
Spell it. Oh, municipal?
The word, yeah,
The
municipal.
municipal government, and they basically fund us most of our funding, which is like 1.2 million, and then we get a little like support from the governor's office, which is like at 800,000. But basically, we've been seeing like the rise of the homeless people like coming into the community, and like basically it's like overflowing us. So we're asking like for extra like funds, and we're suggesting like one proposal is like we add 100 to 120 beds to like renovate the building, and like because the center has a long like history of helping the homelessness. And our second proposal is like we get like a grant of like we're not asking for like a lot of money, but like basically more money, so we could probably start like a food service training program, because the one that we have now is like not fit to serve out the food right now. So that's all we're asking.
Okay, great. Any questions?
No.
Awesome. Selena, would you like to go next?
Yes. Thank you for having me. My name is Selena Williams. I am the chair of the Niceville's Home Association. Our association is well established, a group representing 250 homeowners in Niceville. The group has a substantial influence with the mayor and the city council. I'm also the former mayor of Niceville, and I have always been committed to helping the homeless, because the homeless in our town, it has an image. We have an image, and so the homeless reflects the image of the town. I do believe, one of my proposal is, I believe one of the best solutions for homelessness is having a strong local economic that can provide jobs and training for homeless. Um, the efforts, I believe that it should be concentrated on job training, and services should be confined to the downtown business district away from the residential neighborhoods. My other primary concern is the association is to meet the needs of the homeless without lowering the property value or harming any of the local economic. So that is my proposals and my concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Selena. Any questions for Selena? Selena, why I have a question. Is your main focus going to be creating this this training program, and why?
My main concern is, on the job training, because if we can show people how to be self-efficient, or how to be able to provide for themselves, they first have to have a trade. They have to have a skill in order to be successful. So we would like to do job training so that they can be successful and be, I would say, sustain themselves and be self-reliant. And that way they can get out of homeless homelessness, and they can provide for themselves a place of residency and be able to get out of homelessness. And we can help people with money to get job training so that we won't have so much homelessness in our community.
So you think we should help them find funding for training outside of our services, or we should create a service?
I believe we can create a service. If we put our heads together, we can come up with some services that maybe be beneficial, that some people would, that are homeless would be interested in, because everybody doesn't have the resources to get out of situations. And sometimes when we're able to provide resources, then most people would want to get in, know the information so that they can be able to be self-sufficient.
Yes. Can we all agree upon that point? Raise your hand if you agree.
Okay.
So if we're not agreeing, what does, thanks, Elaina. If we're not agreeing, why not? Jesstyn? I can't, you're muted.
Particularly with something like this, I do see your point of view when you're coming down to like trying to provide help towards the homeless community, and from a standpoint of like the city providing their help and being the mayor of a previous term and being able to help the current mayor at the moment. But I do also believe that within my organization, I have like firsthand experience of what most homeless individuals go through and what the process is like for them, and how we'd be able to handle that situation even after. That's why I think that at least when it comes down for advocating for homeless individuals, in essence, we need to be providing those services towards them. But they need to know that we understand them enough to have their vision looking forward to, you know? For instance,
That we need them, they need to trust us.
they need to have a lot of trust in us. They need to know and that we've been in the same similar shoes as them. They need to get the same help that we have been provided to, that I have been provided, that can serve them justice in the future. With that being said, we have like a program that could be set up to help drug abuse or self-sufficiency when it comes to trying to make sure they be able to provide for themselves even after they're able to come towards our organizations. That is something that I stand for within my organization. That's what I'm hoping for when I come to this negotiation with you guys. I want to provide that help towards them through knowing that we were in their similar shoes. We have the access of help for them. If it comes down to substance abuse or if it comes down to facilitating help so they can be self-sufficient, whatever it may be, that's the help that I think that would serve them justice.
What if we could do both?
Can you elaborate with that for me?
I can. I'm going to table it. We're going to put it in the parking lot, and we're going to talk about it in a minute.
No worries.
But I just want to throw it out there that agreeing with one proposal does not mean yours is not going to get funded, right? We're all working together to create a plan to serve this community of people that need help. And I agree with all of your points. I agree with Selena's points. I think all of these things are amazing. Gregory, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna point out like that point. I was because we're all trying to work like for the homelessness. We all have our different reason or our different like whether like our program that we're in, will there be enough funding going around for like what everybody wants.
That's what we're going to talk about. Everybody knows we've got $1 million. And it's a decent sum of money, but it is not enough, right? So we're going to figure out how to allocate it. All right, we have one more introduction, and then we can dive further into this conversation.
Okay, I am Clifton, and I am the director, the governor. I am the director of the Governor's Task Force on Homelessness. We also fund the Third Avenue Service Center and which coordinates homeless initiatives and projects throughout the state. As the governor, I am very concerned about the media and how they portraying Niceville uh, and how the homelessness is growing in the state. And also, uh, we have a task force that was created to take a proactive stance on homelessness and issues and avoid any type of negative from the media in Nashville. So that's
Excellent.
who I am.
So you're concerned about the town, the way that we are being portrayed in the media, and that our town is overrun, basically,
Yeah.
with homeless. And you'd like to reiterate your point?
Oh, so what I would like to do is uh, come up with a plan to either uh, increase the number of beds to get some of the homeless people out, or to make them self-sufficient, and to provide training and training program for them also.
Awesome. So you agree with pretty much everyone here. I think everyone has really good points. Everyone has an amazing plan, and if we could fund all of them, we would. But unfortunately, we only have, so much money to spend. And I know, since we all have the same general goal in mind, I would love it if we can figure out a way to allocate these dollars so that everyone gets some of what they want, and we can either incorporate a kind of a future plan, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan to get everyone's needs met. The immediate needs are what we should concentrate on first. So let's just talk about our interests, right? So we're all interested in, let's see, and for example, we're not going to focus solely on your desire, homeowners association, to close Straley Park. Okay, we're going to talk about safety. We're going to talk about property values, because I think those, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, but those are your underlying concerns. Yeah? Safety, visibility, right? Am I
Yes.
right?
That's
Okay.
for everybody? Or
No,
Sustainability.
this is for the homeowners association. Your main concerns are safety and property values. Yeah?
Correct.
Okay. So let's talk about, and I think everyone can agree that safety is a big issue. We want everyone to feel safe. We all can agree that we would rather have our town portrayed in a happy, more positive light, right?
Yeah.
And we would love to get the homeless population, as a collective, starting to progress towards independence, progressing towards getting what they need. And not every homeless person is homeless for the same reason, right? Everyone has their own, what they've gone through, their own mental health journey, their own situation that whatever situation. And sometimes it's just one thing, right? One thing, and you're homeless. And that happens all the time. Maybe you're a vet, maybe, whatever the situation is. Maybe you have kids and you're afraid you're going to lose them if you go to a shelter, or if you find an apartment and then welfare comes and takes your kids, right? There's so many reasons to be homeless. So one size does not fit all. We have to figure out multiple solutions, okay? So we're going to talk about, again, shared interest. We're going to reduce the homelessness. It's what we all want to do, right? Improving public spaces, also what we all want to do. So with those in mind, we really need to focus on collaboration. So has anyone heard anything from another group member that aligns with their interest?
I will say, um, okay. So the league, who runs the league? If I'm not who runs the league?
I do.
Who-
I run the Community Service League.
Yes, I do believe that some of our values do align with trying to help the homeless people, though there are some differences that I think that we do have when it comes down to something like that. I think that um at least for our concepts, as far as morals that we believe in, we want to have some self-reliance on homeless people. Like through our program, we're able to assist them in trying to create a better life for themselves. And we don't want to disencourage them, create more beds for a situation where we're trying to uplift them. We're trying to carry some of these homeless individuals in and then out, in essence. We want them to be better people who will be able to help our organizations, if not help the world, not hurt it.
Yeah, I
But
agree with that.
what is your take on that?
I agree with that because increasing the number of beds, they ain't gonna solve a long term problem.
I agree as well because in order to target the issue, I feel like we should get to the root cause. And I do agree, like increasing the bed will only just increase capacity. I don't believe it will exactly target what's going on. It will exactly target like the reason why they are homeless. Because down to it, there is a reason why they're homeless, and it could be different. It could be various reasons. But I do agree with that, and I do agree that our like some of our values do align as far as organizations.
With that also being said, we do want to create a new shelter, but we want it to be run by the homeless themselves. This money will help start it, and we'll be able to, first off, because needless to say, we do need beds. I would say $40, 40 beds would be the first initial start of where we'll be able to put it. And then we can emphasize the help and assistance through the drug abuse or substance abuse, and then exercising more help towards trying to uplift the individual. Um, and then we would depend on our yearly income from our operations within homeless individuals.
I have
I
an issue
I have a
with
question.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
Gregory.
sorry.
Gregory,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, one of it's probably me and Clifton thinking the same thing. But you said you was gonna have homeless people running their homeless shelter, and it kind of like a question mark to me. Not saying like Miss Lisa said, everybody's there for different reasons, but nevertheless they're homeless. So when you think you need like a better representation or like somebody to like watch over them to like
Sure,
Absolutely.
it would have to have staff,
yeah
permanent
Yeah,
staff.
medical stuff.
Yes,
yeah
for sure.
And
Well,
so with who's training the homeless to run their shelter?
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you
Justin?
Well,
repeat that?
So
okay,
what you will be
can I say
looking
something?
at,
Yes, of
so
course.
Please.
Go
what you
ahead,
will be looking at,
Elena.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So I don't, okay, this is my stance on it. I don't think if you have previous experience of being homeless, I don't think that should hinder your ability to run the shelter. Because one, you do have previous knowledge, like you understand, like you have more empathy when it comes to serving these clients. Two, it's whenever you like you're operating something, it's a skill set that you can definitely learn. Of course, it's going to definitely take some time and in order to increase your competency, but I think it's manageable. And I think it's definitely manageable to train the staff that
Elena,
have been previously. Sorry.
Elena, I love your optimism. Um,
Not to mention, our union is made up of 50 members.
and that's quite a lot to choose from.
I have an issue with
The
that.
issue, yes, I do too. And I'm just going to briefly speak, and then Clifton, you're next, okay? The issue that I see with that, it's a wonderful way to think. And I agree with you, and we should always inspire people to be better and give them opportunities. It is a skill set that not everyone has the capacity to learn a skill set. Not everyone has, when you're fighting for basic resources, you're not going to be thinking, they're going to let me learn accounting, right? It's not, you're thinking, how am I going to feed my 5 babies? And that's your number one priority. And when you're in that fight or flight for as long as these people probably have been, then it's going to take a little time for them to feel settled enough to even consider being ready to learn a skill, especially a skill like running a cash register or, managing a supply closet or, whatever it is that is needed, right? Doing all the laundry, ordering
There's
supplies.
someone who has been in a similar position might be able to help.
Well, I think that that's very true too. And I'm not discounting the idea. I love the idea. And I think we can incorporate it. You guys, let's also, if we're not speaking, keep your mic on mute, because I'm getting some feedback. I know you guys are too. So, okay, Clifton, did you have something you'd like to add or ask?
Oh, well, yeah, I'd like to add to that. You want a new building also. Now, what about the startup costs of this new building? That's gonna be a lot of money. You got permits, certifications. That's a lot of income that you're gonna have to have for that. Overhead, that's a lot of overhead you have to have for that.
Who's wanting the new building? Raise your hand.
That's what he stated.
Gregory and Jesstyn, you both you prefer a new building.
Yeah.
Well, either it's kind of like you said, we have similar things. I had 2 proposals. I had like one of it was like I was seeking like support for new beds, like 100 to 120 beds, and to renovate the building.
And that how much are the new beds going to cost?
Probably give or take around probably 50, 60. I'm asking for like probably over $1 million.
Okay, so since we only have 1 million, and that's a hard number, that means we would be spending all of our resources simply building a new building. And that does meet your need, but it only meets your need, right? It doesn't meet anyone else's need. So I'm going to have to go ahead and say we're probably not going to be able to build a brand new building. A new facility it's just going to cost too much money. That's just the bottom line. So if we can all get together and figure out an alternative to a new building, I really like the idea of expanding the current shelter. Now, I know the homeowners association would like it to be less visible. You'd like for it to be renovated. I'm absolutely in agreement with that. I think renovations would be an excellent way to spend some of this money. And we could renovate, we could incorporate a few other things in with the renovations that could meet all of your needs, right? Our general needs of what? Educating, housing.
Yes.
What else?
Well, just briefly, before I was the former mayor, years ago, I was also homeless. So I went through a program called Shared Housing that taught me basic skills, job training. I ended up getting a job in customer service. I also provided resources for me to get another like a trade that I could actually make money off of. They also provided resources about school. So this program that I was in it helped me to get where I am today. So this is why I am so stressing job training and resources like that that will help people that have the mindset or that have that determination to get out of the poverty mindset. And so I also agree with the director, the governor of task force, and their proactive stance. I believe being proactive will help people to get out of the situation that they're in, because there is some people that were just like me. I didn't have a mental illness. I was just in a situation where I lost a job. I didn't have a lot of training. I was a high school graduate, but I didn't go to college at the time. And once I went into that program, it taught me to have a different mindset. So that's why I'm stressing that. That is dear to me.
I love that. So you have experience, and do you remember who put you through this program?
Well, actually, my sister is a social worker,
Mm-hmm.
and my sister did some research and found out about this program.
Mm-hmm.
So this
Is
is
it a free program?
how. Yes, you live with a person for a whole year. And the state pays the person for you, the homeowner, to stay there. You stay there for a whole year. They provide, like I said, they provide job training. They provide food resources. They provide pretty much everything that you need to get started. So that's the kind of programs and job training that I would want people to get involved in, those that really want to get out of homelessness.
That is amazing. Well, if we could farm that out to the state, then that's not something that we would have to provide,
Hmm.
and that wouldn't cost us any money.
Right.
And it would also um, solve a little bit of the overcrowding issue.
Hmm. Yes.
Well, I have an issue with that.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Miss Selena, so you say you want to renovate the existing shelter? Is that
I
what you
want.
want to do?
I can't hear you. What were you saying?
You say you want to renovate the existing shelter?
No.
Renovate.
Um, I would. I would like to. I think the proactive stance that I'm speaking of, is, I guess, opening up the textile manufacturing plant. So this is another resource. Sometimes people they need a chance. So this the plant that is near Niceville can help people that are looking for jobs. Some people lost their jobs and they need to get back on their feet. So that was more what I was looking at. That was. Mhm.
Selena, do you have contacts there?
I have a couple of contacts there.
Okay, and have they agreed to partner with us?
I have two there that would agree to partner with us, with me.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me the okay that they would help this program, because they do want to help this situation, the issue of homelessness in Niceville. So they said that they agreed to partner with me on this, and that's why I wanted to bring this to the forefront to
Mm-hmm.
see if everyone would agree with that.
Yeah, and
So,
I have
Okay,
been negotiating a deal. I'm sorry.
you're good.
Well, what she was saying about the plant, I have been negotiating a deal with that company also.
oh, tell us about it.
Okay, good.
All right. So uh, I have been talking to textile manufacturing plant, and they're also concerned about the homeless issue also. So that might affect the negotiation.
So you both have discussed this with the textile plant? Is what it sounds like?
Yes.
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 So it's the same plant, I'm assuming. Because how many textile plants could there be? What's
Right.
the name of your textile plant?
Mine's is Rose Ray Textile Manufacturing Plant.
Okay, and what about you, Clifton?
Well, according to my sources, it just it was just a deal, just to open one. They haven't gave me a name yet.
You don't have a name? Okay.
No.
I'm going to assume it's the same one.
I do want to speak out on one thing, if that's okay.
Sure, please.
So what you did say previously of like what Selena was stating that she'll be able to create something like this without the access of the finances of the $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is something that if we do end up coming to her in conclusion, that's something that she can still input. Like that progression will still be there, so we'll be able to help individuals who needs that more access. However, when she did come on here and kind of say something about that she had went through some of the similar situation when it comes to homelessness, I also did hear that media did play a big role into how you wanted the city to be more or less portrayed. Now, I think that when it comes down to trying to advocate for homeless people, sometimes backstories are necessary. Sometimes that emphasis of what's going on in your life has has some significance when it comes down towards homeless individuals. You don't want to leave them thinking that we're just trying to provide for the wrong reasons. I just wanted to ask Selena if if speaking out about your past is something that you're willing to do, even in the face of the public. Is that something that you wanted to portray for homeless individuals so they'll be able to have that access of help towards even you?
Absolutely. I'm not ashamed of my story. My story is who I am. But I also understand that even in my story, I came out of it because I had the determination. I had the resources. I had people to help me, like a caseworker and other people that had knew about different services. So I don't have a problem with sharing my story. That is not an issue with that. I just, with me being the, director of the homeowner association, I want not only the homelessness to stop so that people can live a life out of poverty and be successful, but I also care about my community, and I want my community to represent the people that are in the community, and the people that are in the community are strong people. The people in the community are hard workers, and we want something out of life. So that there's multiple reasons why. But yes, I do. To answer your question, I would not mind telling my story. I have told it once before when I was, being on campaign, and even when I got, elected and became the mayor of Niceville, I've also expressed that. So, mm-hmm.
Nice.
I think you'd be an amazing spokesperson. And I think that with someone like you advocating for, for the people who are in the situation that you were in, I think if they know that they have someone that's on their side that's in a position of power, you're going to be fantastic as a role model. You'll be fantastic as a leader. I'm so happy you're willing to do that.
Absolutely. Now,
Fantastic.
so sorry.
No, go ahead.
With all that I've been hearing so far, I do, same as I believe as Lisa, she has stated that we're also able to combine some of our ideas, that we could go into different areas with something like this. I know me and Elaina had similar interests, and if she is okay with something of still continuing um, homelessness for um, helping them be able to get the acquired skills in success and being successful in this world. with Selena, being able to use some of their resources to still have that advocacy for them and be able to have that space for them to have the food and acquire services and everything. I've also been hearing about the bed situation. I know in my proposal that I stated 40 beds, but something like that can be wagered much lesser if necessary, because the whole point of all of this is the focal point of making sure homeless individuals who are suffering get the help they need so they'll be able to continue on with life.
Fantastic. Love it.
Go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
I got
I'm sorry. This,
okay.
May I
Can I-
just quickly say something? Are we all on board, since I've gotten Jesstyn's wonderful, perspective that helping them is the most important thing, and expansion may or may not be in the cards. The most immediate thing would be to renovate, and that, I think, serves a lot of needs. Can I get a show of hands who might be willing to, or who, not even might, I think we need to nail something down. So I'd say renovating the current shelter that we have, and then working to implement a some sort of skills training program would be a fantastic use of resources and would address a lot of needs. Does anyone else, can y'all raise a hand if this sounds pretty good? Clifton?
Can I object?
Oh, of course, please.
Well,
What do you have? What's your objection?
well, I think
What about my building?
oh,
Yeah. Oh, no. We're not done. We're not done. So
Okay.
what building? This is simply, what building are you? Remind me of your proposal.
So I have the child care center that I would like to transform into a homeless shelter.
Right. So the foundation already does fund part of that child care center, and we're willing to continue to do that. Converting that, if I look, let me check my notes, but I believe that's 600,000 to convert that. That is a large chunk of the grant. Hang on, let's see. Renovating is 400, okay? And then let's see. So your full proposal would be 600,000. And then it also requires ongoing operational funding. And I'm not sure where we're going to find that. Do you have any ideas?
Fundraise. And I know it's not really like fundraising is not really stable, but I believe because I have a pretty good presence in the community, I feel like I can definitely advocate and acquire funds if necessary.
But you don't have anything lined up
Um,
currently.
Not currently. Yeah, my biggest goal is to renovate the building. But it's just an idea
It is a
that I
lovely
have.
idea, and I would love to consider it. I have considered it. And the main problem that I see is the ongoing funding that's necessary. We do provide the funding for the child care facility, but it's not nearly enough to cover your ongoing expenses. So
Mhm.
I-
I have an
in
issue with
light,
that also.
oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think we're going to table that. And if we get an additional grant, then maybe we can consider that. But currently, I don't think that like, putting that much money towards something that's just going to need additional funding where we can't fund anything else really.
Okay.
I think we're going to, I love the idea, and I really would love to do it. I also love the fact that it's a child care center, and I would hate to lose that. You guys do such a great job. The community loves it. And for me, that it would be just such a shame to lose that when we can have both, right?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so do you think, knowing that you could support renovating our current shelter?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Well, Well, I have an issue. Well, I think, uh, what I've been hearing from everybody today, that we have two choices.
Hmm.
Okay. We can increase the number of beds to keep up with the demand, or we can offer training to people to be self sufficient.
Hmm.
So I prefer uh, for people to be self sufficient. A training program that moved 10 people a year to self sufficiency will eliminate the need for more shelter beds in Niceville.
I agree with you. Does everyone else?
Yes, I agree.
Raise your hand if you
Absolutely.
agree.
I agree.
With excellent. That's unanimous. Okay, so here's my proposal that we address the temporary need of we have to kind of address the optics of it, right? So we need to, and the safety and the just the current situation with the shelter it needs to be renovated if we're going to keep it. So my proposal is that we renovate the shelter, okay? And if we need to add some additional beds, we can. Hopefully we don't need to do that. But what we can do, and that can be easily done, add 5 or so beds. But in conjunction with that, we can also partner. So we can have Homeless Union and Third Avenue Service Center. You guys can partner, okay? And then we can start training those who are able and willing to learn how to help run the shelters, right? So they can start to take on some duties. They can start to learn how to do the laundry. They can learn how to organize supplies. They can learn how to clean the floors and the bathrooms and those kinds of things. And they can start to become self-sufficient in that way. And then we can also, with the leftover funds, start a training program. Okay. So with your Selena, and Clifton, with your partnership with the textile company, how much training do they need before they can jump into their program?
Well, we're still in the open negotiation.
Okay.
So our concern is the homeless problem first. Then we can proceed
Yeah.
with the
Mhm.
negotiations.
Yep. And that is it's more of a long-term goal, right? To get them trained and get them self-sufficient. Short term, they can start becoming self-sufficient by working in the shelter that they're already in. They can even possibly help with the renovations, right? Painting
Right.
walls, whatever, learning those types of skills, which is fantastic for, future job prospects. So my suggestion is to fund that, and then we're going to figure out the training program that they need. I would love to fund a training program for them, and I think that's going to be around probably 400. And we need to get something up and going. Now, Selena, you said that you have experience going through one of these programs yourself. Do you think you would be able to head one up for us?
I believe I can. I believe
Okay,
I can. Mhm.
amazing. So if we build your salary, and how many employees do you think you would need to run this program?
I'm going to say starting out maybe 10 to 20.
Okay. So
But
those
yeah,
salaries, your salary, supplies, and an ongoing cost for a few years, that's going to eat up the rest of that 400, right?
right.
Or rather, yeah, that's going to eat up the rest of
Would there be any
our
way that
budget.
we can get the volunteers, not the volunteers, some of the homeless individuals? I know that through this, we're trying to create the service program, and for that, we'll be able to maybe help run it.
Yes. And I think that is where we're kind of headed towards, right? But in the short-term problem is we need people to run it, who know how
Right.
to run it. And then
Well, my
those people,
organization will have 50 people.
exactly. Let me finish.
Yes.
So we're going to continue to train those who need training i.e. the people in your organization. And then once they are ready, then they can take over the roles and we'll find other positions, or they can, the people that are in the roles, maybe we make it a 3-year contract, right, for them. And we say, okay, this is going to be your job for 3 years. You're going to train them. And at the end of your contract, these individuals will hopefully be taking over. If not, you'll be staying, or we'll negotiate a new contract, right? But that's
Perfect.
where that money is going to go, is into their contracts. And it's a long-term contract. A 3-year contract is a long-term employment contract, right? So I think, how does that sound? Does that sound,
That sounds impactful. I think that would work, actually.
Great.
anybody
Yeah.
else?
It helps with my organization and everything. Yeah.
Show of hands. Have we found a solution? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, I agree.
Woohoo! We're unanimous. All right, Jesstyn, will you recap for us what we're gonna do?
So for the most part, we will be kind of combining some of our organizations together. For the most part, we're going to start off with trying to fund the building that we already have currently. With that, we will create a service learning program for people that will be able to help run the organization, help the homeless people, and develop them into in a few, or maybe a year or so, we'll be able to provide that help back to the homeless people so they will be able to get those same jobs. They can help each other through that same process because they're having the same help from a homeless individual who is in the same circumstances. The bed situation is that one I'm not sure what that result was going to be, but if it ends up being the same type of beds, the result is that we're trying to get more of the homeless people out. So either way, we're still good on that. And I think that for the most part sums it up, if I haven't missed anything.
I think that was a very good summary. I think we've done a lot of good give and take here. And I think that keeping this shelter open is going to give them also a sense of stability that is very important for people who are trying to get their lives back on track, or on track for the first time, right? So I love the idea of keeping it open. I love the idea of renovating it. We'll increase security. We can add some more management to kind of help keep everything going on track. So that's going to eat up a little bit of our budget. And then I'm super, super excited, Selena, for you to head up our program. And I can't wait for you to start implementing and creating and hiring your people. I think that's going to be amazing.
Just wait, we'll be there soon.
All right, you guys. Well, we did some good work. Everybody feel
course.
satisfied,
Excited.
happy?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for being a part of this, and I will I'm sure we'll meet again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Do we turn is somebody submitting the video? Oh.
I am.
Were you still recording or
Stopping it now.
Is like one person sending the video?